There's something about just pure plot that's exciting. There's something about story, about narrative, about the twists and turns, particularly when you think you know what that story is because you think you know how it pans out. And yet, Hilary's genius really as a writer is to show all of those historical sources and acknowledge them, but to really dig into what it was like for those actual people.
This story shouldn't really be viewed as historical drama. That suggests something stiff, formal. Above all, something that's over. This is not over. This is now. This is contemporary politics. It's the politics of any era. It's the universal human story, the struggle for power. It's red in tooth and claw.
It's about power. It's about the struggle for power. This could be the West Wing. This is people with political agendas that are fighting not necessarily for the good of the nation, but for their own personal ambition. And that struggle is very, very recognizable, whether it's in the modern day or whether people are wearing farthingales and beautiful headdresses and coronets and crowns.
It's quite Shakespearean, if you like, in its scope, not just in terms of the history that it's dealing with, but in the range of characters from kings to servants to ladies in waiting to politicians.
For me to see the shape of it by myself, to cut a shape out of it, I think it would almost have been impossible. I needed someone else to do that, and Mike Poulton came in and looked at it as an experienced dramatist would, cut out a shape. And then we began to work together to flesh that out.
At the very beginning, I said the one thing you can't do is ever put a novel on the stage. You have to tear it up. Hilary said to the cast on the first morning, throw away the books. You have to tear it up and reconfigure it as a play. They're two completely different animals.
The sheer skill of editing down two great big novels into stage time that made me think, no, this is not just an adaptation of two novels. This is a major piece of work.
The starting point of casting any show is clearly the script, and with a story as epic as Wolf Hall, looking at a really big cast of characters, quite a lot of people are playing 2 or 3 or more roles. So it's just trying to pick out those interesting journeys from the script and then start thinking about who might work in this world.
We've become co-imaginers. It's a wonderful thing, the commitment and the interest of the actors, the way they own their parts, they own their characters. So now they can turn around to me and say, I would never do that. And I will listen.
When you're making a bit of theatre, I suppose, ultimately you want to empathise, you know? It's about coming together in a space, and in New York we're going to be in the most magnificent space at the Winter Gardens, and it's about coming together and sharing those stories and how those stories flip and flop and change over the course of our 2 shows. Will be a wonderful journey for our audience.